Good evening, Group 4. This week we're talking about what we've learned with APA so far and our organizational skills, habits, tactics. So as far as APA, well, I'm starting to feel more comfortable with it now. I find the quizzes very useful because the rules aren't always straightforward. You can't just look at it and say, "Oh, I'll do it this way." It's very useful to have the quizzes because it'll take kind of a little scenario that you might really be using in your dissertation and show you how it might be applied. So I like that. I like APA. I do a lot of writing, a lot outside of the program and inside the program. I'm involved in a lot of, because my background is a computer engineer. Also build guitars and do electronics and fix things, and so I'm involved in a lot of writing. Politics is another area I'm heavily into. I know a lot about that. I don't talk about that in this program, but it involves a lot of writing and blogging. I'm working on 2 books, and I'll mention that more in a minute because that's part of my organizational discussion. But I want to become proficient with APA, and I see the value in it. I like things that are uniform, standardized, correct, and I see the value in APA. So I want to become proficient with it and use it with fidelity, beyond this program and what I plan to do in the future. So I always thought I bought the APA book directly from the publisher at the beginning of the program a year ago, or a little over a year ago, and regret not getting the workbook with it because I could have saved a little money. And I thought it would just be like a little desk reference, whenever you need to know how to do something, just look it up. It's not that straightforward, though. So I recently put an order for the workbook. So I recommend getting that. But as far as organizational skill, well, I think really, unless you're really into your dissertation, you're like a second or third chapter or something, and I think until you're at that point, you don't really understand or know how to go about things or what's really going to work. But because of my background doing a lot of writing and things like that, I've picked up a few things, and whatever I learn, whatever I've learned in this program and that I continue to learn, I apply to what I use for doing my own writing. One thing I can suggest is I keep notebooks. I got lots of them for different things that I write. This is Project Red notebook. The colors don't mean anything. I just randomly, Project Blue notebook, black notebook. It's for different things that I do. As you can see, I use stickies a lot. Love stickies. I cut them and I use them to put little tabs so I can find things. I think they're really useful. Here we go. They're really useful to append things to papers you've already written. Sometimes when I'm working on something and I've filled up the page, I might write it along here or do something like that. But it looks sloppy, makes it harder to read. If I just add a little sticky note to it, it doesn't mess anything up, and makes it easier to read. I hate writing on the back of a paper, and I don't want to have to go to a new page just to add a couple of lines to whatever I was writing on the previous page. Plus, it's a little bit disjointed that way. So yeah, the sticky notes are really good. Sometimes I'll fold them like this if I'm studying for a test. That way I won't peek at it unless I have to. That's what I do. It works for me. I got, for like $8 or $10 at Staples or Office Depot, you can find these pretty good quality notebooks. That's what I bought. Nothing fancy about, just dissertation notebook. This notebook's nice because it's got a nice plastic cover. It's durable. It's thicker than the regular notebooks, I guess. It's got like a pocket. I keep my sticky notes in the front and the back or whatever I want. I wrote my name and phone number in case I ever lose it. Maybe somebody will return it to me without trying to get a ransom. But that's what I use. I do a lot of writing. I have to write everything down by hand because if I don't, I get too distracted on the computer. Got ADHD. I think a million miles an hour. I think about a million things at the same time. One of those GT kids, they grew up and never had any, I've just learned over the years it takes a lot of effort to stay focused, or I have little tactics I use to keep refocused so I can complete tasks. And these little things that help me out. One thing I didn't mention in my post that I find very useful, when you do a lot of writing by hand, a really good quality pen makes a big difference. I really recommend getting a great quality pen. And eBay is fantastic source. I have this little designer Oakley sack that came with one pair of glasses I bought. I keep good pens in here, but it's like an $80 pen for like $25 at Levenger.com. They have good deals. I get a lot of pens on eBay. They might be $180, $200. German engineered pens, and everything. I get them for 20 or 30 bucks on eBay sometimes. So, the difference it makes is tremendous. You can write all day long. My hand doesn't cramp. I don't get carpal tunnel or anything. I still use a mouse and type at night, and it doesn't bother me. So, what I can tell you about the pens is they have different nibs or little tips, whether it's a roller ball or ballpoint pen. There's another kind too. It's kind of like calligraphy tip. But it works the same way as these. It has a little ink reservoir that just comes out. You don't dip it. Suppose they still have those pens, but in any case, the little nibs are important because they've got like a fine, a medium, and a bold. And that's how thick the lines are when you write, or how freely the ink flows through it. I don't like the fine tips. They're frustrating because I got big hands, see, and with the fine tips, I have to keep the pen pretty vertical to write, and if I have it kind of an angle, it'll leave little parts of the letters that don't get little gaps in the line. I hate that, so I'll use a bold nib because I comfortably keep the pen at an angle without little skips in the line. But yeah, a good pen is really worth buying. This is a Monteverde. Got for 25 bucks on Levenger.com. I think they're still on sale. Highly recommend them. They got ballpoint and roller ball. Roller ball is different from ballpoint because ballpoint's kind of a thicker ink. Rollerball's kind of got a wider, thicker reservoir of ink. It's flows more easily, but neither one bleeds through the paper very much, so doesn't matter, whatever works for you. And that's pretty much all I got to add this week. Looking forward to your comments, and thanks for watching.